Number 10. Scott Eastwood. We've heard complaints from many of Jared Leto's past co-stars, mostly about how he tends to take his method acting to the extremes, from presenting them with a dead pig to sending them inappropriate items in the mail. It's all a bit bizarre and uncomfortable. Co-star Scott Eastwood had something to say about the actor as well, him playing GQ Edwards alongside Leto in the movie Suicide Squad. Scott said that during filming he was afraid to approach Leto, saying that while he knew the actor, he definitely didn't recognize him in his portrayal of the Joker, also saying that he was worried about affecting Jared's performance and getting in the way of the thing he had going on. While for many actors, method acting can be a good way to get into character and prepare yourself for the role, it may be too much if doing so puts everyone else on edge and makes them scared to even get near you. Number 8. Denis Villeneuve. Let's hear from another director that has worked with the actor, this time from Denis Villeneuve, director of the film Blade Runner 2049. He spoke about how the actor once again committed himself to his role by wearing contact lenses that made him almost completely blind, as the character Leto was set to portray is also blind. Villeneuve said, "We all heard stories about Jared, how he transforms into the characters, but even this didn't prepare me for what was to come. He entered the room and he could not see at all. He was walking with an assistant very slowly. It was like seeing Jesus walking into a temple." Similar to Leto walking around on crutches on set for Morbius, his constant, almost permanently blind state around set frustrated people as well, as he would always have to walk with an assistant and move very slowly. It made filming very difficult and slowed down the production process. But hey, anything for the role, I guess.
Number 7. Started a cult. Let's get into one of the biggest issues here when it comes to Leto. With an already well-established acting career under his belt by 1998, it was then that he decided to start up his very own rock group called 30 Seconds to Mars alongside his brother Shannon Leto. And while it may have started as an innocent exploration into new career paths, things took a turn for the worst when the band began to gain a large following, with many pointing out that it started looking more and more like a cult. In 2013, Leto joked about the situation during an interview with New York Times magazine, stating that the whole thing had been a joke and just a response to journalists calling them a cult. However, as the years progressed, it seemed to be anything but a joke. In 2019, Leto and the band hosted a Croatian getaway retreat, which sparked further rumors of the nature of the fandom. Photos that surfaced from the event showed Leto and fans alike wearing similar white outfits and throwing up strange hand symbols. Not to mention that Leto himself was wearing an all-white ensemble and looked eerily similar to Jesus with his beard and his hair. In a photo posted by the band's very own Twitter page, the caption even read, "Yes, this is a cult." Number 6. Scamming fans. Another way the band's following resembles a real-life cult is all the money. Not only did the 2019 event fuel the conspiracy theories of the actor leading a cult, but the huge prices for these cult-like getaways also sparked further controversy, as Leto came under fire for taking advantage of his power and influence to get money out of his young fans. A separate retreat in Malibu that same year charged fans a whopping $999 to camp outside for 2 nights with tents that they themselves had to provide, and no other supplies included. I mean, the cheapest available option for a solo room was $6,499 for a VIP experience, or whatever that means. That's not the only event that fans had to shell out exorbitant amounts of money to pay for. There have been claims that the rock band has charged fans as much as $900 for meet and greet sessions, according to one blogger who allegedly attended such an event in 2013. Just as a little comparison, Rihanna only charged $116 in 2015, and Taylor Swift has always made it a point to make her meet and greets free. But their dedicated fans don't really seem to mind the high price tags, because so many posted on Twitter about it afterwards and said that although the price was a little bit overboard, the experience was ultimately worth it. I find that really hard to believe. Number 5. Joker mayhem. Several other actors who have shared the screen with Leto have famously spoken up about what it was like working alongside the bizarre actor. Like in 2016, when Leto found himself the subject of yet another controversy due to his strange and uncomfortable methods of preparing for his role as the Joker in the Suicide Squad. It seems like the actor has really built a reputation of being difficult to work with, because he just takes it too far when preparing for a role. As a way to connect with his character, Leto would send wildly inappropriate gifts to his co-stars, such as dead animals, objects that are meant to be used in the bedroom, and items that are highly contaminated, all in the name of a prank. The backlash Leto experienced due to the vulgar gifts he sent his Suicide Squad castmates was not well received by the actor at all. During a 2016 interview with E! He attempted to justify his actions, much to his co-star's disdain, after having described him as jarring. Quote, "I did a lot of things to create a dynamic, to create an element of surprise, of spontaneity, and to really break down any kind of walls that there may be there. The Joker is somebody who doesn't really respect things like personal space or boundaries. But honestly, what was the point of disturbing his co-stars to such a degree? The movie also bombed, and many critics pointed to his performance as part of the reason why." Number 4. The sleepover competition. This one really solidified the band's reputation as creepy. In 2013, 30 Seconds to Mars were promoting their 4th studio album, Love, Lust, Faith and Dreams, with a really weird and completely inappropriate giveaway. The winner of said competition would get to spend what the band called, quote, "a magical night in Leto's bed at his home." Yes, you heard that right. The prize of the competition was actually called a sleepover, which you could potentially win if you paid in advance for their album. That's not even the craziest part of all this. There were reportedly 6 lucky winners for the sleepover, and one of them ended up being chosen to sleep in Jared's bed. The winner, who just went by Tess, later posted on her blog that Leto's bed was actually a coffin. I mean, talk about red flags. While the premise of the competition was crazy, apparently travel was included and so were vegan pancakes. This goes to show you that Leto is acutely aware of the degree of fan dedication. In 2013, he actually said, quote, "If people like 30 Seconds to Mars, they really, really like it. We have this cult, this family, these believers. It's this knowledge that has given the band a sense of entitlement which is so ingrained that they feel that they can get away with pretty much anything when it comes to their fans." Number 3. Joel Kinnaman. During a press tour, the actor was asked about his thoughts on 2019's Joker, and that's when he decided to throw some shade at Jared Leto. Joel Kinnaman quickly aired his thoughts on Leto's performance. As the clown prince of crime before raving about Joaquin Phoenix's takeover. When asked if making the new Joker film was cheating on Jared, he bluntly replied, "No? Who?" He then went on to praise the new Joker film instead, saying, "Joaquin just crushed it. I mean, wow, he's incredible. He's such an actor. It's surprising to see something that has that kind of performance that has a DC wraparound because it's a real art film. I think he's really one of the best of all time." Joel Kinnaman, who played Rick Flag in David Ayer's original Suicide Squad, also seemed to favor the second film, the one that didn't include Jared Leto. Quote, "When I saw the film completed, I felt, yeah, this was what the first film set out to do." It really does make sense that he feels this way though, considering that the first movie was universally hated and torn apart by critics, whereas its sequel has received almost universally positive reviews and achieved a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's easy to see why he prefers that version. Number 2. Daniel Espinosa. The only thing that one can say about Morbius is that it's certainly a movie. That's something that director Daniel Espinosa would probably agree with, given that he had to deal with Jared Leto's so-called method acting for his role as Dr. Michael Morbius. So what did he put the director through exactly? Well, in order to prepare for his portrayal as Marvel's very first on-screen vampire, Jared would reportedly remain in character for the duration of the shoot, even pretending to be disabled in between takes and using his character's crutches even on his bathroom breaks. While speaking to Uproxx magazine, Espinosa confirmed this and even revealed that Jared's technique became a problem on set as he would take too long to move around between each scene. Apparently, he had to be given a wheelchair to move around for the sake of speeding him up because his ridiculous antics were actually wasting a lot of time. Number 1. Joaquin Phoenix. Just how annoyed was Jared Leto with Todd Phillips' Joker in 2019? Well, the movie ended up grossing more than $1 billion against a budget of around $60 million. Not only that, but it garnered international praise praise, mostly for the incredible performance from its Joker, played by Joaquin Phoenix. But the film's success was allegedly a source of embarrassment for Jared Leto, who tried to have the film shut down ahead of its production. According to sources familiar with Jared's behavior, when the Oscar-winning actor learned of the Phillips project, he not only complained bitterly to his agents at CAA, but reportedly asked his music manager, Irving Azoff, to call the leader of Warner Brothers and get them to kill the film. We now know that obviously didn't work, and for whatever reason, that same year Jared ended up parting ways with his manager. THR previously reported that Jared thought Warner Brothers had strung him along with the promises of his own Joker standalone film, only to greenlight the Phillips version with Joaquin Phoenix instead. So it's easy to see why Jared felt threatened with the success of Joker, but anyone in Joaquin's position would just want the chance to portray the villain in their own way, and shouldn't have to prioritize someone else's ego before they take on a role. Number 10. Taylor Swift. Jared Leto caught some heat when TMZ leaked a video of him and his band 30 Seconds to Mars listening to Taylor Swift's 1989 and saying how they really felt about it. Jared was caught saying, "F her, I don't give an F about her, it's whatever works best for us." Swift's fans were obviously not too happy with what was said, and Jared received some pretty intense backlash from recording, so much so that he eventually was forced to issue a formal apology. The truth is that I think Taylor Swift is amazing and an incredible example of what's possible. If I hurt her or my fans, my sincerest apologies. The whole thing was pretty awkward. Number 9. Margot Robbie. When the Australian actress worked with Leto in 2016 on The Suicide Squad, it wasn't exactly a relaxing experience for her, but it was actually her co-star Viola Davis that first confirmed rumors that Jared had gifted Margot a pet rat on the set of the movie, and spoke about the incident to British Vogue. Quote, "I was saying loudly, 'Don't open the box.' I was halfway out the door when Margot opened the box and saw the biggest black rat you could imagine." Reports at the time suggested that Leto dished out the bizarre gift as a part of his attempts to channel the famously deranged Joker character. He has since denied the story and instead claimed that he gifted Margot with some sweet treats. He told GQ, quote, "It's also interesting how this stuff takes on a life of its own, but I never gave Margot Robbie a dead rat. That's just not true." But even Margot confirmed that she had been given the rat in an interview with Jimmy Fallon. At first I thought this was disgusting, but then after that I was like, I'm not gonna kill him. So I ended up keeping him as a pet. Despite the fact that she eventually warmed to the rat, it's easy to see why she wouldn't be jumping to do another movie with Leto after his crazy antics. Number 8. Robbert Pattinson. While it's true that every actor has their own process to get ready for a role, method acting often goes into uncomfortable territory, and even Robbert Pattinson believes there's such a thing as going too far. Quote, "I always say about people who do method acting, you only ever see people do method when they're playing a-holes. You never see someone being lovely to everyone while they're really deep into a character." While he didn't reference Leto specifically, his comments certainly created some tension between the two DC actors, as Jared is known for his reliance on method acting, especially for his role as the Joker, when he took it to the extreme. In fact, he took his role so seriously that he didn't even speak to his co-star Will Smith outside of filming for their parts, as a way to connect with his character. Leto would also send wildly inappropriate gifts to his co-stars, such as dead animals, objects that are meant to be used in the bedroom, and items that seem highly contaminated, all in the name of creating a dynamic. Jared himself tried to justify this on set behavior by saying that the Joker is somebody who doesn't really respect things like personal space or boundaries. But what was the point of disturbing his co-stars to such a degree when the movie was a critical flop anyway?
Number 6. Vicky Marie Taylor. Now let's move on to what adult actress Vicky Marie Taylor had to say about the guy that she met at a party. She said that way back in 2002, she and 3 other female dancers had been invited to a post-concert party, Jared Leto being in a relationship with Cameron Diaz at the time. The girls were dancing and she had even given Leto a dance when he requested that she move over to his brother. When she did, Leto apparently came up behind her and grabbed her by the throat aggressively, whispering a statement into her ear. She said that it was an uncomfortable and weird weird situation, and they were only there for about 10 more minutes before they were requested to leave as they had to get back on the road for their next gig. This isn't the first time that it's been reported that Leto has gotten a bit creepy, unsettling, and aggressive during a meeting. Number 5. David Harbour. Like Lindsay Lohan, David Harbour was another celeb to throw some subtle shade at Leto's portrayal of the Joker. Back in 2018, David Harbour was getting ready to take on the role of Hellboy for the reboot of the series. When talking about the role, he started discussing how he hoped people would be on board for the reboot and that people would like his portrayal of the character. Harbour said, "I can like Michael Keaton's Batman and I can like Christian Bale's Batman. I can like Jack Nicholson's Joker and I can like Heath Ledger's Joker. There's other Jokers I don't have to like." The Joker he doesn't have to like obviously being in reference to Jared Leto's Suicide Squad character. It seems like most people who saw the movie, and even those that didn't, agreed with the Stranger Things actor's opinion. While it's fun for the viewing public to pick on a celebrity's performance, it's always amusing to see high-profile celebrities engaging in playground drama. Number 4. David Ayer. As had already been mentioned, Jared Leto's actions on the movie Suicide Squad were a bit unsettling, mostly due to the actor's penchant for method acting and completely losing himself in a character. While a lot of his co-stars commented on what it was like being on set with Leto, and even what it was like being at home and receiving disturbing things in the mail from him, director David Ayer also had something to say. We've heard from a few different directors from some of Leto's other films, so here's what Ayer said. "He constantly has to give birth to himself. He goes away, he comes back. He shoots, he goes away. The Joker is something you have to be, and you can see how exhausting and painful it is for him to be this character. But you can feel it when he comes to work. The crew feels it, everyone feels it. It's like the birds stop flying. He's f***ing terrifying." Yep, so looks like Will Smith was correct in saying that it felt like Leto went full Joker.
Number 3. Called out on Twitter. Leto really seemed to be getting some backlash in the era of the Me Too movement. It seemed that out of his fellow Hollywood celebrities, not everyone was willing to be silent when they heard that he was behaving inappropriately towards young women. In 2018, Suit Life of Zack and Cody star Dylan Sprouse came forward on Twitter to directly accuse Leto of those exact things and bring the disturbing allegations to light. Sprouse tweeted, quote, "Jared Leto, now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is?" As you would have predicted, the tweet totally blew up and many people were happy he was finally getting called out. The situation quickly escalated when Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn tweeted the following as an answer to Sprouse's initial tweet. "He starts at 18 on the internet?" Although the tweet has since been deleted, many users managed to grab a screenshot beforehand and notes that this was not the first time Gunn tried speaking about Leto's predatory behavior either. In fact, in June of 2015, the director reportedly did a live stream on the video app Periscope in which he made similar remarks about the actor's habits of sleeping with people that are. Number 2. Misconduct towards celebrities. One of the more serious allegations that Leto faced was his misconduct towards underage celebrities. In an article published by Screenshot Media, an even further accusation towards Leto was highlighted. The more recent backlash for the actor began after he was posing with pop star Olivia Rodrigo at the Grammy Awards and quickly came under fire on social media after users noted the string of allegations against Leto, including accusations that he constantly harassed young women and started a cult with his band 30 Seconds to Mars. 19-year-old Rodrigo took home 3 Grammys from that Sunday night award show, including Best New Artist that was actually presented to her by Leto. At the show, Rodrigo and Leto posed together for a few now viral photos, one showing them shaking hands and one showing Leto's hand on Rodrigo's waist. Twitter users criticized the show's decision to invite Leto to present given the current allegations. They also pointed out the fact that she is in the same age group as the other alleged victims that have come forward about Leto. Number 1. Underage fans. Leto allegedly has a tendency to not only target underage models and celebrities, but also his own underage fans. A now deleted article by Evangeline Van Houten titled Another Cosby, a reminder that several women have accused Jared Leto, highlighted one of Leto's super fans and their alleged experiences of sleeping with the actor. In fact, a number of victims, all underage, described the same scenario with Leto, and some of the allegations even suggested that the singer acted despite a lack of consent or continued even when asked to stop. One account stated, quote, "He never asked me if I was ever okay or comfortable with anything he wanted to do, simply because he is not the person to care." The actor slash frontman once told Entertainment Tonight that he's found fans asleep in his bed. The strange comment has left many to wonder just how it is that they got there in the first place. But most troublingly, despite all the allegations now surfacing against Leto, they have yet to make any real impact upon his career or his ability to work in Hollywood. Number 10, New York Post article. Let's start things off with one of the earliest red flags we really should have caught. This one goes on all the way back to 2005, when a New York Post article written about Jared Leto's controversial behavior as a celebrity opened up with the line, quote, "Jared Leto likes him young." This was truly one of the earliest references to alleged concerning behavior, and it goes to show you that people were starting to pick up on his strange dating habits from early on. The article claimed that Leto was more than just a regular Hollywood playboy, but that he was, quote, aggressively pursuing many of the teen models shacked up at the Maritime Hotel while in town with his band 30 Seconds to Mars. According to the article, the actor, who at the time was most known for his breakout role in Requiem for a Dream, had become infamous for calling and texting some of his underage objects of desire several times a day. A source close to the star told the article that Leto was constantly texting underage girls and even called it a little creepy. Although the article didn't really affect Leto's work very much, it's still strange that his behavior has been an open secret in Hollywood for quite some time. Number 9, extreme method acting. The controversy surrounding Leto's extreme method acting recently came back to light with the release of his latest film Morbius. Leto was well known to be someone who often takes method acting to the extreme and has been harshly criticized for it by many in the industry, and it's not difficult to see why. In order to prepare for his role as Dr. Michael Morbius, Marvel's very first on-screen vampire, Leto would reportedly remain in character for the duration of the shoot, even pretending to be disabled in between takes and using his character's crutches even on his bathroom breaks. While speaking to Prox magazine, Morbius director Daniel Espinosa confirmed this and even added how Leto's technique became a problem on set as the actor would take too long to move around between each scene. Espinosa then added that Leto had to be given a wheelchair to move around for the sake of speeding him up because his antics on set were actually wasting a lot of time. But this left many people who have seen the film to wonder, all that for Morbius? I mean, the film was a critical and box office failure, so it's difficult to see how all that extra preparation was worth it. Number 8, the fan tattoos. Leto's band 30 Seconds to Mars are known for having an intimidatingly large and devoted following, but it seems some of the interactions between the band and the fans often push that relationship too far. When they were gearing up to begin production on a new video, the band invited fans to get lyrics of the song tattooed on themselves in order to feature in a clip, a move that even the fans themselves have branded as irresponsible. According to a post on the band's website, in order to be eligible for the video, fans must submit footage of themselves quoting to a camera, "I am the echelon," which is the name given to the band's group of fans. They also had to include footage of their tattoo before, during, and after it was healed, as well as write a paragraph on why they're getting the piece. The band, led by Leto himself, know full well how much influence they have over their fans, so encouraging young ones to get tattoos just for the purpose of a few seconds of footage can be seen as reckless. Considering this was only one instance of the many times the band has crossed the lines in regard to their fans, it's safe to say that the group was always comfortable taking advantage of the trust and adoration of their followers. Number 7, Lindsay Lohan. This one is really strange, but it turns out that the star of Mean Girls is not exactly a fan of Jared Leto. When it was announced that Jared was set to play the Joker, there were some pictures of his character that were released ahead of the film. According to Contact Music, Lindsay took to Instagram and posted a picture of Jared Leto as the Joker, right next to a picture of the Crow played by Brandon Lee, with the caption, who wore it better. She then posted a question that seemed directed right at Jared, which said, who based his whole music and film career on the film The Crow? Lindsay then went on to condemn the Suicide Squad film as a whole, commenting that a Suicide Squad film is not helping the world but hurting people. Anger is not the answer for peace. Although she would eventually delete the post, she made it pretty clear that she feels Jared somehow ripped off Brandon Lee's aesthetic and copied his film career. We're talking, of course, about Bruce Lee's son, who tragically died in an accident involving firearms on set. He was only 28 years old at the time and was beginning his acting career. Although it was a bizarre accusation, neither Jared Leto nor anyone involved in the movie seemed to respond to Lindsay, which was probably for the best. Number 6. Dylan Sprouse. In 2018, the then 25-year-old actor slammed Jared Leto for allegedly sliding into several young models' direct messages on Twitter. Sprouse directed the tweet at Jared's creepy behavior and questioned his success rate with young models. He wrote, "Yo, Jared Leto, now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is?" As you would have predicted, the tweet totally blew up and many people were happy that he was finally getting called out. While it's unclear what incident prompted Dylan's message, the 30 Seconds to Mars frontman did not seem up to the challenge of responding. But when more and more allegations started piling up against him, people were not happy at all after the actor posed with pop star Olivia Rodrigo at the Grammy Awards. At the show, the two of them posed together for a few photos that have since gone viral, one of them shaking hands and one of them showing Jared's hand on her waist. Twitter users criticized the show's decision to invite him to present given the current allegations. Number 5. James Gunn. The Guardians of the Galaxy director was quick to join in on the hate train against Jared Leto when he replied to Dylan Sprouse's initial tweet criticizing the actor for only going after 18 to 25-year-old women. James Gunn replied saying, "He starts at 18 on the internet?" Although his tweet has since been deleted, many users managed to grab a screenshot beforehand, and notes that this was not the first time James had tried speaking up about Jared's predatory behavior either. In fact, in June of 2015, the director reportedly did a live stream on the video app Periscope, in which he made similar remarks about the actor's habits of sleeping with people that are underage. And in 2012, he tweeted, "Driving home from Vegas trading stories about what a D Jared Leto is." He later deleted this as well, but it's become very clear that he does not think highly of the actor at all, and genuinely believes that he is a creep, which might be the reason why he never considered reprising the Joker for the Suicide Squad. Jared's take on the DC villain was introduced in David Ayer's Suicide Squad in 2016, but he failed to make the cut in James Gunn's sequel because, according to the director, quote, "I just don't know why the Joker would be in the Suicide Squad. He wouldn't be helpful in that type of war situation," which does make a certain sense. Number 4. Will Smith. Playing Deadshot in 2016's Suicide Squad really gave Will Smith an opportunity to make friends with the entire cast over the course of the 6 months that the film was shot. But when it came to Jared Leto, Will Smith said that he never met him on set. Instead, all he got was the Joker. Will told Beats One radio show, quote, "We worked together for 6 months and we've never exchanged a word outside of action and cut. We've never said hello, we've never said good day. I've only ever spoken to him as Deadshot and him as the Joker. I literally have not met him yet. Not a single word exchanged off camera. He was all in on the Joker." But 6 months of filming sounds grueling on its own, which is why Will allegedly wasn't happy putting up with Jared's inappropriate pranks on set. All in all, it sounded like it was just another case of Jared's method acting gone way too far.
Number 3. Todd Phillips. When director Todd Phillips recreated the character again in his dark 2019 film Joker, Jared Leto got a little bit angry. There was more beef than a cow farm. Apparently, when Suicide Squad came out, Leto had been promised his own solo Joker movie, though things obviously changed over the course of production and following the film, as Leto's time in Suicide Squad was severely cut down from the original plan, leaving him with only around 10 minutes of screen time in the film. He had been planning to be a main character and seemed to push himself a bit too far. A source saying, in his defense, it was never really his movie, but his attempt to invent a place for for himself in it backfired. When he heard about the new movie not featuring him, he had complained to his agents, and even requested that his music manager call the company and get the film called off. Phillips obviously made the right decision in choosing to move forward with a different actor for the character, as his movie performed well and got mostly completely positive reviews. Number 2. Joel Kinnaman. Get out your sunglasses because we're throwing shade over here once again. And of course, if you hadn't guessed by now, it's about Leto's Joker. Actor Joel Kinnaman was doing a press tour for his upcoming show while also working on scenes for the past movie's soft reboot, The Suicide Squad. He was asked his thoughts on Joker and Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of the character, and he took the opportunity to stir up some drama and throw some shade towards Leto. The interviewer asked if Kinnaman felt like he was cheating on Leto, and he responded with, "No." Who? Joel, of course, having co-starred in Suicide Squad with Leto and obviously knowing who he is, but sounds like he's pretending he doesn't and maybe does not want to be associated with the actor. He then went on to highly praise Phoenix's take on the Clown Prince of Crime. Number 1. Jared Leto. Sometimes the easiest way to know someone's character is from that person themselves. Finding out the truth about Jared Leto and how he seems to be a bit of an out-there personality didn't really take any deep digging, and much of it has come from his own mouth. So let's go through a few of the most bizarre things Jared Leto has done that should have given us a sign about who he really is. At a concert in Brazil, he flipped off a fan who didn't know the correct lyrics to his songs. He has told both a fan and a sound technician to F off, said that playing the Joker was extremely difficult and was like giving birth out of his prick hole, said he lies whenever possible during interviews, he was rude to his henchman co-stars on Suicide Squad, requesting them to do ridiculous tasks for him, and he once walked out of an interview after yelling expletives at the reporter. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg. You can find plenty more if you want to look it up for yourself.